Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. My name is Sensei and you are watching a opening bell special. Unfortunately, Martyn is unwell this morning. We will want to send some love in the chat to Martyn. I heard he was unwell, so I thought there's a big event today, so let's cover it. It is SK Hynix, the company that powers AI. A $26.5 billion IPO is going live in 10 minutes time at the market open. So it's something to keep an eye on. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Let's get some love for Martyn in the chat, and please do hit the like button on your way in. If you are watching this later, you can see sort of all the timestamps to my side over here. You can skip through it, but as you can see, the time is 10 minutes until the IPO starts. Let me tell you all about it. Okay, so let's start by going through our daily newsletter, because all the information, as always, is there in our very own newsletter. First link in the description. You can sign up for free or choose the discount, which gives you the annual plan at around $13 a month is, I think it works out to. And again, it's not just a newsletter, you get all the perks and benefits that are listed there. I'm not going to do the market watch first. I'm going to go straight into the story. We'll come back to the market watch because we don't have much time until the IPO starts. So if I scroll down to our top stories of the day, our second story is about SK Hynix. So I did a story in this about this in the newsletter yesterday. Let me just remind everyone and give you some more information as it IPOs here in the US. We do have a poll running, so you can vote in the poll. Please do hit the like button as well if you just tuned in. I am keeping an eye on the chat. Yeah, we're getting some love for Martyn. Please do spam the chat with some hearts and some messages for Martyn. Someone just said, oh, Jay said, first time hearing of them. What's the IPO price? I think it's $149. They are live in South Korea. They're coming over to the US markets, just like Alibaba did in 2014, I believe it was. Let me tell you all about it now. So SK Hynix is a $26.5 billion Nasdaq debut, and Nasdaq just closed at all-time highs. So SK Hynix, the world's second largest memory chip maker, pulled off the biggest first-time US listing by a foreign company on record, and it begins trading on the Nasdaq today in 7 minutes. It sold American depository shares at $149 each and raised $26.5 billion. They raised that much money. They've got that much money to now play with, $26.5 billion just from their US listing. A deal larger than Alibaba's 2014 debut, with institutional orders running more than 7 times the shares available. Institutional players who wanted to buy the shares, it was 7 times oversubscribed. Trading opens under temporary ticker SKHW, YV. SKHYV. I'm going to get that ready on the chart because hopefully we'll get some data coming through. Why is that not copied? Let me get that copied for our trading view chart, just so when it does go live, we can track if it's above that 149 or below. So it's SKHYV. If anyone wants to add that to their watch list or keep an eye on it, there is a ticker for it there. No data yet, as it hasn't started. So trading opens under temporary ticker, and it's a temporary ticker because it will then switch over. So trading unders open the temporary ticker SKHYV on a when issued basis, with regular dealing under SKHY, due to start on the 13th. So that's when we will see the new ticker on Monday. Early indications put the stock at $158, which is below the Korean share equivalent and short of the 20% premium HSBC had projected. So looking at the data behind the scenes, it looks like it actually isn't going to be worth as much as the Korean equivalent and a bit lower than HSBC had projected. So potentially an opportunity there. Every AI system, and let me tell you a bit more about the company itself, Am I in it? No, well, I can't be in it because I haven't. We have to wait until it starts trading. I'm not in it, and I do. If you're in the Nasdaq, you're pretty much in it though. Every AI system, the ones answering questions and generating images. So think of your Chat GPTs of the world. Those AI systems, they answer questions, they generate image. They run on specialized chips. But those chips are close to useless without fast memory sitting beside them to feed in the data. Remember, memory is needed. They need to feed in the data. There's no point having chips without having the data. That memory is called high bandwidth memory. And SK Hynix, the company we're talking about today, the one that's IPOing here in the US today in about 4 minutes' time, makes more of it than anyone else on the planet. So 56% of the global supply of high bandwidth memory comes from this company. So if you think AI is here to stay, do you think companies are using AI chips? Well, they're definitely going to be using the chips from SK Hynix, or at least 56% of the chips are from SK Hynix. So it's a really, really big deal. So while Nvidia takes the headlines for the AI brain, the chips itself, SK Hynix quietly supplies a large share of short-term memory that the brain cannot think without. Listing in New York puts that business in front of American investors for the first time in one of the largest fundraisers the market has ever seen. The listing lands amidst a bigger shift running through the whole sector. Tech giants like Meta, Amazon, Google are racing to design their own custom chips rather than buying everything from Nvidia. Yet they all need the same ingredient underneath: memory. Whether they buy their chips from Nvidia or whether they build their chips themselves, they're still going to need memory. That turns SK Hynix into a rare name that wins almost regardless of which chip design comes out on top, since nearly every AI accelerator who builds it needs its parts. Demand running at 7 times the shares on offer is saying the market saying it wants direct exposure to that choke point, not just the famous name sitting above it. The opening price is a reality check rather than a verdict. A debut below its home market value and below the premium the bankers wanted suggests a lot of optimism is already baked into the number, which is common when a listing arrives this hyped. The more useful signal is how really having trouble saying it. YV trades, such a terrible ticker symbol, trades across its first few sessions because it works as a live thermometer for the entire AI hardware trade. It also lands on a week before TSMC, the world's largest chip manufacturer, reports on the 16th and gives the next hard read on when the AI spending boom is accelerating. We're going to have a look at the session today, where it opens, where it ends. I'm going to look at it on Monday as well. I don't really take too much into account on the opening price, apart from how much the demand is. If it holds ground once the index and the fund buying clears, the memory bid is real. If it fades instead, that is a hint. Even the strongest AI names may now be priced far too much to go right. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what this company is, why it's a historic Nasdaq debut. It is trading in South Korea. It's IPOing in the US market in 1 minute and 45 seconds. It is oversubscribed. $149 and above is bullish. $149 and below is below IPO price, which is obviously not a good sign. It is a company that has a 56% market share of the high bandwidth memory. Whether you have the Nvidia chips or you're building your own chips, you're going to need something like this. I don't expect these companies will be too interested in building memory chips. I can understand why they want to build their own AI chips, so it integrates nicer with their own products. But when it comes to memory, I don't think they're going to be looking to build their own memory chips. So a company like SK Hynix could be very interesting. Now, do I give financial advice? No. Am I telling you to go out and buy it? No. If you're in the Nasdaq, you're going to have a share of it anyway. So please remember, I do not give financial advice. This is my thoughts and opinions only. Please do not buy or sell based on anything I say. Let's see. No data yet on SK Hynix. Let's see if that changes in the next 42 seconds when we go live. Then we're going to be talking about the Meta AI chip, because Meta have come out yesterday and they're looking to build their own AI chip. What does that mean for Nvidia? And what does it mean for Meta? We'll look at the XRP Bitcoin charts. We'll look at the top stories. We've got a deep dive on the Clarity Act. I'll answer all your questions, and then we've got a special show from Vaz. So 21 seconds. Let's see what's happening. Guys, please do hit the like button. It takes 1 second. I know it's early in the morning. Just take a second, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Do consider signing up to the newsletter. The link is in the live chat. You can sign up for free or get the premium plan at 25% off. Let's go over to the market open. Okay, so still no data coming through from SK Hynix. It is live now. The markets are open. Let's see if we can go over to Bloomberg and see what they're saying.
4% in the future session heading in to the open as we open markets. It is a lot of supply we have to absorb, so that seems to kind of be taking some of the steam off the boil. And Dow Jones, that's up about 1/3 of 1%. Here's the people everyone wants to talk to, and Ed Ludlow will be talking to them at 10:30 a.m., so in about an hour's time. But it is SK Hynix ringing the opening bell, the biggest foreign listing ever to come to these American markets as they look to get maybe some of the same valuation as Micron and some of their other peers. Man, rough to be down at the New York Stock Exchange, competing for attention with what's happening down at the Nasdaq. We have a data center company ringing the opening bell, so at least it's still like AI related. But again, it's all about SK Hynix today. Looking at what some of the big AI-related stocks are doing, Nvidia, that's up about 1/3 of 1%, as I mentioned. Ahead of SK Hynix's debut, we are seeing some of the other chip makers start to decline as we make space. You'll make space in their portfolios. For SK Hynix, Micron down almost 3%. Meta, it has been declining, down 26% from its all-time highs. Helping them today was a report from SemiAnalysis finding that their compute capacities make it the only hyperscaler able to take on OpenAI and Anthropic. And in recent weeks, we have heard news that Meta looking to sell more compute, becoming a cloud company. Those shares up 5%, Bonnie.
All right, Danny, on the earnings front, Delta Airlines reaffirming its full-year profit guidance as travel.
They saw SK Hynix ringing the bell as the Nasdaq exchange. And you heard there, the largest foreign listing on the US markets in history. So yeah, it's a big, big deal. Let's go back to Bloomberg and then we can move on to our other stories and see, are we getting a price for them? Still nothing on TradingView. Again, it'll take a second for the price to come through. Bloomberg, I'm reporting. Let's see what Bloomberg are saying.
This stock, after we saw them ringing the opening bell, what do we know so far about how this thing is likely to price and be received?
Yeah, the demand is clearly there. It's a memory chip moment in financial markets around the world. So you see the leadership of SK Group, the parent, including the chairman, Che Tae-won, who we'll speak to in just over an hour's time, along with other leaders, including Vice Chairman Che Jae-won and the SK Hynix CEO, Kwak Mo-jung. The company sold 177.9 million ADRs for $149 each, with each ADR equivalent to 1/10 of a sole traded common share, but they priced at a slight premium, which is interesting. They didn't want to leave money on the table, raising 26.5 billion. We keep saying it's a record for a first-time US share sale by a foreign company. They need the proceeds, right, to boost memory capacity, particularly high bandwidth memory, a market in which they have 57%. But the mantra here is we want to be where the AI is. They wanted to get out in front of US investors as they ring the bell here at the Nasdaq. These ADRs set to begin with when issued trading this Friday on the Nasdaq Global Select Market under the ticker SKHYV, but that will change to SKHY when they begin regular way trading on July 13th. There are lots of questions about the trajectory for the memory market, the tightness, how long it lasts, but on the capital market side, already questions about what happens next there too.
Ed, we're really looking forward to all of your coverage. Bloomberg Tech's Ed Ludlow. And again, tune in to Ed's interview with the SK Group Chairman, Che Tae-won. That will be at 10:30 a.m. New York time, the conversation of the morning. Joining us now as we beat the drum to that SK Hynix listing, Manulife John Hancock, Co-Chief Investment Strategist, Emily Rowland. Emily, great to...
All we're doing is we're just taking a second to cover this major event that's unfolding in front of us. Bloomberg have some coverage, so we'll go back to Bloomberg.
Semiconductor index not see a move of less than 1% decline in either direction for more than 2 weeks. And amid that volatility, SK Hynix can come to market and raise $26 billion.
Yeah, Danny, nothing can stop this market in terms of the AI and semiconductor memory trade right now. It is just remarkable.
Isn't that the famous last words? Nothing can stop the market now. Oof, I wouldn't say that.
It's just amazing. And what's so incredible about it is just the power of the earnings. We're huge believers that over time, stock prices follow profits. And we're just seeing incredible numbers within semiconductors, over 100% earnings growth last quarter. Analysts on the street looking for the same this quarter. So as long as the fundamental case here can remain intact, it's hard to see the broader trend of market strength here halt. And the other element that's going on right now is that it's just a dip buyer's dream market. Every time news comes across the tape, to your point, attempting to cause some kind of selling pressure in markets, it's almost like a beach ball that's underwater and it just pops right back up. And you get this transition from buying the dip to seeing stocks rip it once again. So as long as that behavior continues, I think, again, the broader trend here is intact.
Emily, it's been a dip buyer's market, right? It's been a dip buyer's dream, but there is a certain level of confidence that's necessary here. I mean, what if one of these times the dip buyers just don't reemerge? We've seen huge downswings several times over the last couple of months.
Yeah, Bonnie, I mean, that's why it's so important to think about owning other things. The biggest challenge that we found right now is that concentration risk is more epic than ever. So if you look at something, for example, like the MSCI Emerging Markets Index, 27% of that index now is concentrated in semiconductors and semiconductor equipment. 44% of the EM index is now in technology. The entire global stock market is now a giant technology index. So the biggest challenge we have is, and we're seeing sentiment shift to those markets. So as asset allocators, how can we think about owning other things if there is some type of sell-off or downside volatility in this very popular corner of the market? So for us, it's looking down in market cap, thinking about things like mid-cap stocks, looking to areas like industrials and healthcare, and then also thinking about fixed income. We have income. And that's really critical. It's tough to talk about right now because there's so much excitement in these other sort of pockets of the market. But we still think leaning into a 4.5%, 5% yield in high quality bonds makes a lot of sense as we approach the back half of the year.
Well, what the bulls would say about this equity market, and Emily, I'm sure you would agree, is just that earnings and earnings expectations look so strong. I was though listening to Liz Ann Saunders earlier.
Okay, we'll circle back. If anyone does remember, that apparently there's an interview with the CEO. I think it was the CEO in about an hour's time. So we can circle back to Bloomberg if we are still live. If anyone can remind me when that's happening, that would be great. SK Hynix apparently will be live on Bloomberg in about 50 minutes time. So we can circle back there. But yeah, if you have just tuned in, biggest foreign debut on a US listing, foreign company US listing is occurring. The IPO today in the US on the Nasdaq exchange, SK Hynix, and we're waiting to see any price data to come through. That hasn't come through yet. It does take some time to see that price come through. We're expecting $149. I see a lot of people are asking about VG, Virgin Galactic. Let's have a look. SPCE. We'll come over to Q&A shortly as well. Virgin Galactic is only down 1%. I mean, you could expect Virgin Galactic to be up 10% in a day and down 10% very, very easily. I mean, you can expect it to be down 50% and up 50% on a day as well. So, yeah, my target has been around where we are now. $2.50 is the upwards trend, then $2.30. And then the upside target is $2.80 to $3. I did put a full analysis for the Virgin Galactic chart in the in the newsletter section in the Discord channel, so you can go check out my analysis on SBCE there. But yeah, nothing crazy. It's not really heading down. I wouldn't class 1% down as heading down for a stock like SBCE. Okay, we'll circle back to the IPO. Let's just have a quick look at what the markets are saying right now. Let's go through the main positions here. Ethereum up 3% today, catching a bid back above 1,750, an important level. Target will be 1,850, and then above that, you can get some acceleration towards the upside. Bitcoin recovered really nicely, and it could continue towards the upside. XRP was the chart of the day. We could be on breakout watch again for XRP. Oil pretty flat, down again. I told you people aren't really confident in Donald Trump's threats. Yes, there is tension in the Middle East, but if you're worried about the stock market, the reason you're worried about the stock market due to the war is because of oil. Nothing else. Oil is what causes inflation. or what has been causing inflation. And if oil's at $70, that's quite low. I expect it to go higher, but if it's at $70, it's not going to have a big effect on the market. That won't affect inflation too much at all. Next week, we get a very important inflation report. I'll be live. I think it's Wednesday, CPI. That'll be the biggest indicator whether we're going to have interest rate hikes or not. And I'll be covering that. I expect it to be lower. I expect inflation to peak. No, sorry, I've already said I believe inflation has peaked. The FTSE 500, FTSE 100 up 0.3%. Bonds pretty flat on the day. S&P 500 slightly up. Nasdaq slightly down. Gold down 0.65% and silver down. So crypto up, the rest of the market pretty much down. So crypto catching better bids than the market today on the day of SK Hynix's IPO. Let's move on to our story about Meta and their AI chip, because things are changing now. It's not all about Nvidia now. Companies want to build their own chips. Let's start off with our first story about AI powers Wall Street to fresh records, because yesterday we did get record highs on the stock market once again. And this is what I've been saying for the last year. You want to be invested in the market. You don't want to be out the market. If you think the valuations are extreme, you might be right, but the markets will continue. You don't want to be out the markets because history shows you long-term markets go up. And too many people sell early and don't reap the rewards. And so far, the trend has been intact. The trend has been towards the upside, and we are continuing towards the upside on the stock market, not the crypto market. The crypto market, the trend has been towards the downside. Hence, I've been out in the crypto market, slowly starting laddering in. Stock market's been different. It's been hitting record highs, higher lows, and higher highs, and that's why I'm staying invested in those index funds, especially my long-term portfolio, which is just a DCA portfolio. I know there is some controversy around DCA. I know Martyn's does say if you want to make more money, you don't DCA, you buy at the right time, which is correct. But my DCA portfolio, which is just long-term holding, anytime I get money, I put into that portfolio. That's performing very well because the markets have been continuing to make records. So AI is continuing to power that. US stocks closed at highs yesterday as investors bet again on AI-driven demand and looked past a fresh flare-up in the Middle East. They ignored the war. The Nasdaq composite rose 1.3% to a record 26,200. The S&P 500 went up about 1%, and the Dow gained 0.3%. Chips stocks led the charge. Micron went up 5%. SanDisk went up 7%. Applied Materials went up 3%, and Meta added 4% on plans to build its own AI chip. We'll come to that story in a second. Futures were mixed this morning as traders waited for the Nasdaq debut of SK Hynix. We're still waiting to get an actual price from SK Hynix. Nothing yet. So we're still waiting to see what price that comes out as. The pattern is the same one that has defined this week. Any dip in AI trade gets bought, and any macro risks that could have once rattled the market are being waved through. That leaves the market leaning heavily on a single theme, just as its two biggest near-term tests arrive. June inflation lands on the 14th, and that's what I keep telling you. My next big decision on my personal portfolio and even on the £5,000 portfolio challenge will be based off inflation on the 14th. So on Wednesday or Tuesday, I believe, is CPI. Also, big banks are now going to, it's earnings season. We're back in earnings season. So we're going to get the big banks reporting as well, either of which could interrupt the run. From now, the momentum sits with the chip makers and hyperscalers spending on them, and the SK Hynix debut gives the appetite a live read this morning. We spoke about the SK Hynix Nasdaq debut, it's a $26.5 billion debut, a lot of money being raised even in this market when you think you can't go any higher and no more money can be raised just after SpaceX raised all that money. They still find the money. The market is still taking it all in. The story we want to cover now is the Meta AI chip. So Meta moves to build its own AI chip, and this is a very sort of important point in the AI investing sort of scene. The companies themselves building their own AI chips. It was going to come. Now it's here. What is Mark Zuckerberg up to, and are others going to follow suit? So Meta plans, and this was an exclusive story that that reached the Financial Times, and as soon as I got that message from the Financial Times, I shared it to you guys on Discord. It was an exclusive story that other publications didn't have access to. So Meta moves to build its own AI chip. Meta plans to start production of an in-house AI chip, codename Iris, in September. A step meant to cut its reliance on outside suppliers and roughly double its computing capacity. According to an internal memo, the chip is the latest generation of Meta's own accelerator program and will be manufactured with Broadcom and TSMC, after testing that reportedly took just 6 weeks and flagged no major problems. The plan sits inside AI infrastructure budget that could reach $145 billion this year and a target of 14 gigawatts of computing power. Investors liked it, and Meta shares rose 4%. The move matters because it puts Meta alongside Amazon, Google, and reportedly China's DeepSeek in designing custom silicon rather than buying every chip from Nvidia. And that is what our Nvidia story was about yesterday. Nvidia, price to earnings, lowest it's been since 2019, 96% market share. It's only down from here for Nvidia in terms of their market share. Not share price, maybe the share price continues to go up. But manufacturers, Amazon, Google, DeepSeek, and now Meta are looking to cut their reliance on Nvidia and make chips more tailored to themselves and make them in-house. So if you're wondering why Nvidia is not performing as well as you might think, with everything else performing great, Micron, SanDisk, and some other AI companies, is because of this. That could reshape who captures AI profits over time, though it comes with a catch worth stating plainly. A custom chip still needs someone else's memory and someone else's foundry. Broadcom and TSMC gain a marquee customer, and SK Hynix, debuting today, sells into exactly this demand. The threat to Nvidia is real, but it's gradual, and its shares now trade at their cheapest forward multiple since 2019, so much of that pressure has already been reflected. So if you're going to start shorting Nvidia based off this, well, it's already being taken into account. But do remember, even if Meta chooses to create their own AI chips, or Amazon, Google, they still need partners. They still need partners like Broadcom, TSMC. They still need memory from, for example, the producer of 56% of the world's memory, the IPO today of SK Hynix. So yeah, it's still worth having a broad basket of these goods because they still will work together. It doesn't just mean Nvidia's dead, or memory is no longer needed. They're going to make it. It's a basket of these goods that you want to have in a portfolio, in my opinion. Custom silicon is a margin story before it becomes a volume story. The read is not that Nvidia loses, is that the value spreads to Broadcom, TSMC, and the memory makers who supply everyone. I'm watching how large Meta says the Iris order actually is. Let's see how much they're going to be working with these partners. So that's our Meta AI chip. Again, another one bites the dust. Google did it, Amazon did it, DeepSeek reported to do it, and it's a trend. Meta is doing it as well. So it's worth keeping up to date with what all of that is. We've got a couple more top stories. I'll go through some of the top stories, and then we might pick to read another one as well. Let's just going in a bit of a weird order. Top stories are obviously AI lifts Wall Street higher. SK Hynix coming out with an IPO today. Still waiting for some price data from that. Meta building its own chip. Delta beating on earnings and holds its year. The airline topped estimates and guided Q3 profit to $2 from $2. Between $2 and $2.50. Opening earnings season on a firmer note. So Delta coming out opening earnings season quite bullishly. Bitcoin regulation now moves crypto. So Bitcoin is holding 63,000, actually heading up to 64,000 as Washington's rulebook, not the Middle East, become the main driver. So you're seeing, someone asked me yesterday, I forgot who it was. Someone asked me, a newsletter member asked me, why is crypto heading up? Well, I did a specific story for you in the newsletter today. Gold is holding above 4,100. A softer dollar supported the metal through rate hike worries kept it. Though rate hike worries kept it below January's record of 5,600. Remember, if we think rate hikes are coming, or if the market thinks rate hikes are coming, that's not good for gold. That's why gold has come down. Also, obviously, when it's a bit euphoric, and we warned about that. Now it's holding about 4,100. Really not a bad time to start DCAing into gold. It could go lower, but it's well off its record highs. Little story here for the World Cup fans. World Cup hits the last date. Spain meets Belgium today in one of the one of 4 quarterfinals played on US soil this weekend. All 4 quarterfinals in the US kicking off tonight. Let me know in the chat. Are you watching the Spain-Belgium game tonight? Washington's 4-week crypto window. So we've got a deep dive today we'll move on to shortly, which is 2 rule books: the SEC's Safe Harbor and the Clarity Act. Could land or die by 7th of August. This is looking concerning. 7th of August is really the deadline. Can the Clarity Act go through, or can it not? Are they going to find space? Are 7 or 8 Democrats going to move over? It's now or never, because after 7th of August, they go away for their break, midterms. That could throw a big spanner in the works, and we might not get it this year in that scenario. And again, remember the deep dives and some of these stories are for the premium members only in the morning forecast. One of those stories is the XRP chart of the day with my full technical analysis on XRP. Okay, if you guys are wondering where Martyn is unfortunately unwell. We are sending our love to Martyn. Hopefully he is feeling better later today, or maybe next week. So I am covering the opening bell this morning. I'll be watching the Spain-Belgium game, says DJ Haynes. Tim Rogers is live in the chat. Hi, Sensei. Great week of information for members. Yes, thank you, Tim Rogers. I really appreciate your comment. Nvidia going up. Yeah, I did open a position at, what was it, 195? What's it now? NVDA. Yeah, 206. Oh yeah, breakout is occurring. Downward sloping trend line. People sleep on it. The lowest valuation since 2019. Obviously, it's not going to continue to have a 96% share of the market, but that doesn't mean it won't perform well, especially if we have some good earnings, which we seem to always have with Nvidia. $234 could be the target. I wouldn't sleep on Nvidia, but I would be wary of Nvidia in the sense that people could get scared. People can jump ship very quickly, and you might be able to get much better prices for a manufacturer like Nvidia, who is unfortunately or fortunately, a lot of the market share will start moving away from Nvidia. It can't really do any better. It can't continue to have a 96% market share. We're seeing what manufacturers are doing, and by the time we get towards the end of the year, they'll be using their own chips. In collaboration with probably Nvidia and other companies, and there will be a lot of money still to be made for Nvidia, but it is the highest market capitalized company. How much room does it have to run? $230, $300. How much room towards the downside? People can get scared and jump ship very fast, and you still want to have money on the side to be able to buy an Nvidia at $170. Or if the market really gets scared and we do have an AI bubble burst, $100. I mean, it won't take much. If you don't think you can see Nvidia at $100, you can. When things go up this fast, they can come down just as fast as well when people get scared and jump ship. So yeah, be prepared for all scenarios. But yeah, up today, my short-term view is probably a move towards the upside to 20 to 30 to 40. That's what the indicator's saying. Yeah, you're above. Yeah, we did analysis on Nvidia. I think we did a chart of the day yesterday. So premium members, you can see our bullish sort of thoughts on Nvidia yesterday. 230 sort of the target. Okay, so that's Nvidia. Let's go SK Hynix. I want to see if we're getting any data from SK Hynix. What was the ticker symbol again? SKHYV, SKHYVS, SKHY. No, we're not getting anything. Let me just add it to watch list. SKH is such an annoying ticker symbol. I'm very good at ticker symbols normally, but this is not a nice one. SKHYV. There we go. And then it's going to change on Monday to just SKH, I think. So that'll be easier to remember. Okay, what are we moving on to now? A quick look at the XRP chart and the Bitcoin chart. Why not? Let's have a look at it. Yeah, Bitcoin currently up 2% on the day. It held support around the 60,000, 59,000 when the buys were. Held support at 60,000. Long term, you're still in a downtrend. We haven't had official confirmation that the downtrend is over. We haven't had official confirmation that the bear market's over. You zoom out, you look, you're in a downtrend. My belief of the 4-year cycle is that you don't want to bet against the 4-year cycle until the 4-year cycle breaks. And everyone always likes to say the 4-year cycle ended. It's still here, and you can see 4-year cycles in different markets as well. So it is a real thing. And if we're going off the 4-year cycle and how we've reacted in different bear markets, I would be under the impression that we actually have one final capitulation here in 2026. That would bring Bitcoin maybe down to 52,000, 45, 40,000. Somewhere in that region is when, if we get a final capitulation. Now, do we have to? Do we have to have a 4-year cycle? Could I be wrong? Of course, I could be wrong. Gold miners got. I'm just seeing some comments. Yeah, I'll come over to comments in a section. Yeah, could I be wrong? Of course, I could be wrong, but we've been right very, very well with crypto over the last 4 years. And I do think there'll be a final capitulation. Does that mean I'm not buying? Well, actually, the risk reward at 59,000 for Bitcoin was pretty good, and at $1 was good for XRP. So I have started buying again. So I am a buyer in this market. Maybe not today, but I was a couple weeks ago or a week ago. So I am building position. So in case I am wrong, at least I've got some skin in the game. Having said that, we could go euphoric. People, there could be some good news around the corner, or if the stock market is going higher, and people want to put money back in the crypto market, we can go up to 60,000, 70,000, 75,000, 80,000. XRP could run up to $1.30, $1.50, $2. Everyone gets euphoric, thinks the end of the thinks the bear market ends, and then you get a final capitulation, and you maybe just hit the lows again, go back to 55,000 and go back to just below $1. That can happen as well. But in either scenario, either if we pump now, I expect to still see the levels come back in play and another opportunity. So in theory, I'm buying at the lower ends, 59,000. I bought at Bitcoin, $1 I bought XRP. I might take it as a trade if we go up pretty quickly. Maybe I'll sell that XRP at $1.30. Maybe I'll sell that Bitcoin at 80,000, because in my opinion, studying the 4-year cycle, will come down once again, either to these lows and create a double bottom, or more likely break the lows of 59,000 and $1 for XRP and Bitcoin. But anyway, short term, what we're looking at, let's look at the indicators. We're about to print a green triangle on the Bitcoin trigger alert. The last time we printed a triangle was a bearish triangle at 78,000. That trade took you from 78,000 all the way down to 59,000. That was the trigger alert, where we've got a light green triangle, which will be confirmed, I believe, at the end of the day, if the price stays the same, and that will be our first sort of green triangle since we got one at 66,000, which took us up to 81,000. So a potential change in short-term trend on Bitcoin towards the upside. XRP, potentially the same downwards trending trend line. If we get back above it, $1.12, $1.13, we'll probably get that green triangle on the trigger alert, on the sensor indicators. Remember, if you're a newsletter member, you get these indicators. That could take us to 130, for example, as well. So that's Bitcoin and XRP. We've just got Martin in the chat saying big trade, see Discord and YouTube Electrum. So if you are a Discord member and a YouTube Electrum member, you can definitely go check out what Martin is talking about, which is a new trade. I want to check it out as well. What's going on? I'm not going to mention it, but I want to. Oh yeah! Wow, big trade. $250,000 trade. So yeah, go check it out. I apologize, guys. I didn't mention to you last week I was unwell, and I'm still fighting that battle. But I'm well enough to be live. So so I apologize if my voice is weird or if you hear me snuffling. So yeah, that's XRP, that's Bitcoin. Let's move over to our Clarity Act story, and we'll keep an eye on the main event of the day, which is the IPO. IPO. Do we have any data? No data yet on that IPO. We covered the Meta story. There's a Delta story there. Crypto story. Oil slips as Iranian barrels return. So crude oil kept falling this morning with Brent trading at $76 after losing more than 2% yesterday. And West Texas WTI below $72. The driver is supply, not calm. Even with fresh US strikes in Iran and retaliation attacks on American bases in the region, keeping the Strait of Hormuz in the headlines, the return of the Iranian crude has drained the war premium that has spiked prices earlier in the week. Traders are now treating the conflict as a supply shock with a known offset rather than an open-ended shock, which is why the geopolitical risk has faded from the price faster than the headline suggests. Lower oil is quietly helping the inflation picture, and that's what I'm talking about. Next week, the most important story of this month is probably not the IPO today, it's probably CPI next week. I'll be covering it live, because that tells us, are they going to raise interest rates or not? In my opinion, inflation has peaked. I've been saying that a lot recently. So let's see. Am I right? Am I wrong? We'll find out next Tuesday or Wednesday. Let's have a look at the economic calendar. What day actually is it? And I think we get PPI the day after. So let me just check the calendar. Just filter it to United States. High impact. Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday will be Tuesday will be CPI month over month, year over year, and then core CPI. And then Fed Wash testifies that day as well. That could be interesting at 3 p.m. Okay, so yeah, next Tuesday, and then Wednesday we get PPI. So Tuesday, Wednesday next week will tell us, is the bull market over or is the bull market just getting started? We'll find out. We've seen really, really important CPI inflation data next week. All eyes are on inflation. That's the only thing that matters right now. Okay, let's talk about the Clarity Act and the 4-week window. So the war headlines are fading and crypto barely moved on any of them. What the market is actually trading is the calendar. Between now and August 7th, Washington would either hand the industry its first real rulebook twice over, because there's 2 different things coming out, or push the whole question past the midterms. Now or never. The SEC long-promised regulation crypto proposal could be published this month, and the Clarity Act has roughly three usable Senate weeks left before the August recess kills its 2026 chances. That setup and the price that is the setup, and the price action already reflects it. I believe we can see what polymarket odds are on it right now. So Clarity Act, I believe it will be below 50% and falling. Let's have a look. The more we get into July with no date, yeah, it's just slowly falling. We were as high as 74% back in May. Now in July, 2 months later, we are actually at the lowest it's ever been. 40% chance only that the Clarity Act gets signed into law in 2026. So there we go. Interesting. So more likely than not, the market's saying the Clarity Act is not actually going to get signed, and not because we've only got until August the 7th, and then the midterms will happen because of their recess. So let me just tell you what's going on. So there's 2 things. One is actually an SEC proposal. A lot of you might not have heard about it. The SEC themselves has moved its regulation crypto proposal onto the near-term agenda, and it could land as soon as this month. 2 pieces matter the most. So they can have their own legislation. It doesn't really have to go through Senate. It just has to get signed into law. And essentially what they're proposing is, number one, the 2 main things in it is a fundraiser exemption. So startups could raise $75 million through qualifying crypto investment contracts without going through the full SEC registration. Operating instead under a temporary exemption of up to 4 years while making disclosures to investors. So that will help innovation in the US. Some people might have problems with that, potentially with fraud and stuff, but in theory, it's a good thing for crypto and smaller crypto startups. And secondly, the bigger thing here is a codified exit from securities status. Under proposed safe harbor, this is the SEC's regulations that can come in, which is more likely to come in than the Clarity Act at this point. Under this proposed safe harbor, a token whose founders have permanently stepped back, where the network runs on its own, would get a rule-based confirmation that is no longer an investment contract under SEC jurisdiction. So if you followed the Ripple XRP case, you know why that matters a lot. For years, the only way to find out whether your token was a security was to get sued and spend 4 years in court. A written test replaces litigation with a checklist. That changes the incentive for every project that moved offshore since 2017. Launch in the US, disclose, and then you can come out and not be a security contract. The caveat is this is a proposal, not a rule. It is still sitting at White House Regulatory Review Office, and after publication, it faces a public comment period before anything is adopted. So realistically, this will potentially become law in 2027. But again, the market is liking that more than the previous SEC direction, and we welcome it. Now, the thing that everyone talks about, the Clarity Act, separate to the SEC's regulation. Congress is the faster and riskier track. The Clarity Act, which would hand most digital asset oversight to the CFTC, passed the House. Remember, we covered that. We were live for the Clarity Act. It passed the House, and now it sits on the Senate calendar with no vote floor scheduled. And this is the issue. We don't know what date the vote is going to be, and we don't even know if there's going to be a vote because nothing is scheduled yet. The Senate returns from recess for their 4th of July recess on Monday. And then advocates treat August 7th as the last day before the summer recess, as the final credible date for passage. Miss it, and midterm politics make a 2026 law unlikely. So here is the window of opportunity. Next Monday to the 7th of August. If we don't have a scheduled floor vote between the 7th of August and the 13th of July and the 7th of August, consider a 2026 Clarity Act off the table. The midterms will come in next. The bill needs 7 to 9 Democrats votes to clear the 60 vote threshold, and 3 disputes are blocking them. Ethics language. So these are the reasons that the Democrats, main reasons some of these Democrats are not moving over. One is the ethics language. The reason they're worried about this is because they're anti-Trump. And Trump's financial disclosure showed roughly 1.4 billion in crypto-linked income in 2025, which Democrats want addressed in the bill. They want to essentially say, we need to have something in this Clarity Act bill that stops people like Trump making 1.4 billion in crypto-linked income. So they want that addressed, but obviously the Republicans can't really go against Trump because then Trump will not be happy with them. A section prosecutors would say could impair criminal investigations, and a fight over whether platforms can pay yield on stablecoins with the banking, which the banking lobby wants to close. So a couple issues there that they need to figure out before some Democrats will come over. All has to happen within a month. So, oh God, is it going to happen? Maybe we get a vote, but maybe that vote doesn't go through. So my thoughts, the SEC route matters more than the vote counting suggests because it does not need 60 votes. So we can get that SEC route through, which is still bullish for the industry. But a statute would be better, but it's much harder. If the Clarity Act dies in August, the safe harbor still moves forward. And I think the market has not fully separated the two outcomes. Yeah, people don't talk about the SEC case enough. It's important. But yeah, all eyes on the Clarity Act. And sometimes what the eyes are on matters more than what's actually important. So Clarity Act, is it going to pass? I'm not too confident. The 4-week window. You can see on that chart exactly the window that you're looking, the window of opportunity that we are about to approach. The price action already reflects the shift. Bitcoin has recovered mid 63,000. I think it's above 64,000 now. Are we still rising on Bitcoin? Let's have a look. Yeah, above 64,000 now. The ETF picture tells us a cleaner story. A 10-day, 2.73 billion outflow streak ended in early July. We had 10 days where it was continuous outflows from the Bitcoin ETF. That was actually $2.7 billion. That's more than the whole XRP ETF funds. That all came out in 10 days, a 10-day streak, with about 510 million flowing back across 3 sessions. So over the last 3 days, we've got $510 million flowing back in. Keep the scale honest though. Year to date, net outflows still sit near 5.4 billion. So if you're looking year to date, we're still down 5.4 billion in those ETFs. So the rebound has recovered roughly 9% of what's left. The bleeding stopped. The relief has barely started. So you can see in red, we've got how much the outflows have been 2026 year to date, the last 7 months. And then in yellow, you see what we've recovered so far since July the 2nd. So the recovery has started. It just depends. Is it here to last? XRP is actually the sharper example. It cleared $1.10 resistance overnight on volume, 88% above its 24-hour average. So a lot of volume on XRP last night, and held the level instead of retracing. It held $1, held $1.10. It did that with no fundamental catalyst of its own. Days after the pre-recess Senate vote was scrapped, traders now treat $1.10 as support, with $1.08 below and $1.10 to a $1.13 zone above. So yeah, we are looking at potential breakout on XRP shortly as well. Whether a closure on Clarity gets filled once the Senate returns next Monday, that is the earliest hard signal. The publication of the actual regulation crypto text and how wide the crypto safe harbor test is drawn. ETF inflows confirming or fading the turn, and XRP holding $1.10, the market's cleanest live gauge of regulatory hope. Watch, not chase. Yeah, never chase the market. Keep an eye on it. Make informed decisions. Clarity Act. The window of opportunity is among us. Are we going to get there or not? Chart of the day is XRP. Again, newsletter premium members can go and check that out. So that's the story about the Clarity Act. Hopefully that's informed you more about where we are with the Clarity Act. Let me know in the chat, yes or no. Do you understand a bit more? Have you understood now that it's between the 13th of July and August the 7th? A little update on the Clarity Act. Let me know in the chat, yes or no. Does it help? Has that helped the stories today? Has it made you more informed? Do you understand more, including the SK Hynix story, the Meta AI chip, the Clarity Act? Do you feel more informed this morning? Let me know in the chat, yes or no. And then let's move. Oh, wow, Tim Rogers. Look at this.
At Tim Rogers 6,982 tipped $20 through Super Chat. Sensei, enjoy a beverage over the weekend. Did I miss your charts on SPC yesterday? Doing well with ABV/MO/PMI and others positions with your charting knowledge.
Let me read that whole text. Let me bring it up on the screen. Wow, look at this. Tim Rogers, one of our longest members, one of our members that contributes the most, has just sent a super chat. So let me read this. Sensei, enjoy a beverage over the weekend. I will. Thank you very much. And it's hot here in the UK, so it will be greatly enjoyed. Did I miss your charts on SBC yesterday? Yes, you must have. If you haven't seen them, I believe you're on Discord, and I believe you're a newsletter member. Tim Rogers, are you a premium newsletter member? I can't see why you wouldn't be. I'm sure you are. Are you a newsletter premium member? If you can answer that, and then I'll tell you exactly where you can find the SBC chart. Doing well with ABV, MO, PMI. Yes, great positions. Congratulations, Tim Rogers, and other producers with your charting knowledge. Thank you so much, Tim Rogers. Steady growth is my continuous strategy. Feel better. Oh, thank you. Yes, continuous strategy is steady growth. I think for most people, steady growth is certainly the way to go. And Tim Rogers, a big advocate of that, and we love when you share your knowledge. Tim Rogers, so the SBCE chart, if you are a newsletter member, if you're not, I'll give you the link here and then I'll onboard you straight away. There's a section on Discord, there's a section on Discord, Sensei's Corner. You scroll down, you find Sensei's Corner, and then I'll tell you exactly where it was. It was in the newsletter chat, right? Yeah, it was in the newsletter chat. So if you scroll down to sensei.news, sorry, not Sensei's Corner, sensei.news category, go to newsletter chat. I put out a video there with the SBC chart review. If you just jump into Discord, I'll give the link directly to it. If you're not a premium member, you can sign up there, but I don't know why you wouldn't be. I'm pretty sure you are. Okay, again, thank you for the super chat. So that's the Clarity Act story. Guys, if you have any questions, let me know. We'll do a live Q&A now, and then I'll tell you about Baz's live stream. I'll look it up today, thanks. No worries, Tim Rogers. You can get your discount there. There's a 25% discount there. I believe you are a newsletter member, though. You must be. I don't. Yeah. Q&A. So, guys, the floor is yours. Everyone can ask their questions, and then we'll go over to, I'll tell you about Baz's live stream as well. Let's just go back to the charts and see, do we have any price action for the IPO this morning? Charts next. No. It's not. Yeah, no price data coming through. Remember, these IPOs can take some time. While we're here, let me just explain the newsletter perks. I know a lot of people here are newsletter premium members, but might not know all about their perks, or you might want to sign up. Every trading day, we put out a morning forecast newsletter. It comes out 2 hours before the opening bell, around that time, 2 hours open before the opening bell. And essentially, I go out, I've got subscriptions to Bloomberg, Reuters, Bloomberg Terminal, Financial Times, The Economist, Barron's, Wall Street Journal, and about 5-6 more. I go out, I look at all the news stories, I see how different people are reporting it, I see the biases, I see what's actually important for investors, and then I condense it to 5 main stories and about 3 or 4 or 2 extra stories that might be a bit shorter that you might just want to have on your radar. So all the news you need to know about, you'll get in the morning. You don't need more, you don't need less. Understanding where we are in the markets, understanding the news stories, understanding the different cycles, you'll get yourself more educated by just understanding the news. And it's very nicely laid out. There is no ads, there's no sponsorship, I have no biases, no one's sponsoring me, so I don't have to say it a specific way. So you get all the news stories. So again, let me just walk you through that daily newsletter you guys get. So if I scroll to the top. At the top, if you just want to have a glance, you can actually get this part for free. If you sign up to the newsletter, I'll give you the link in the live chat. You can choose to press the 25% off the annual plan, or on the right hand side, when you click that link, you can sign up for free. You can get this part for free, which is the top stories at a glance. At least you know what stories are out there, what's happening. You can just read the top stories at a glance. And if you want to read the rest of the newsletter, but not all of it, you can use this as a guide, because the top stories at a glance tell you about all the stories. You can skip down and read more about your favorite stories. So you've got your top stories at a glance first. You've got your one big thing to take away. You've got your fear and greed index to see. The number that matters today is 26.5 billion. SK Hynix raised 26.5 billion in its US share sale, the largest first-time listing by a foreign company in American history, bigger than Alibaba's 2014 debut, and it starts trading today. So just a number to understand. You can skim through the winners and losers, what's up today, what's down, circle up, why is it up 12%. You can see maybe some of these are in your portfolio. Maybe you want to understand what's winning, what's losing. Why is Meta up 12%? Well, there's the reason. What's losing today. A market snapshot just to see where everything is priced. And then you get to those top news stories. So AI powers Wall Street. You get 2 paragraphs and my thoughts on it. If there's a bigger story like SK Hynix, I might include a few more paragraphs on that story. I rarely do that, but when there's a big story, I do that. So you get your top 5 stories: Meta AI story, Delta beats on earnings, the regulations for crypto. Then you get these smaller stories. If there's anything else I just want you to have on your radar, I'll just put them here. And then you get a deep dive if there is a story worth noting. And today was all about the Clarity Act. And then you scroll down and you get the chart of the day, which is my technical analysis, what chart I'm looking at, what looks worth watching. That's one part. That's one small part of what you get from being a newsletter member. On days like CPI events, FOMC days, in that newsletter, you'll get a cheat sheet. What does that cheat sheet look like? Well, if we go to sensei.news, the website itself, we've got a tab that says cheat sheet. You can see what those cheat sheets look like. So normally you can see them here. So we start with a FAQ. I answer all your questions. I give you all the analysis, the 60-second cheat sheet, what it actually means. Then we have the different charts in there. So when there's a big event, this was for the FOMC minutes, we put a newsletter out so you understand exactly what that event's about, what it all means, and what to look out for when the data comes out. You get 3 trading view indicators. So if you go onto any chart, gold, silver, XRP, Joby, SBC, you can apply these 3 indicators. These 3 indicators are very, very simple to use. They're backed up by academic research. I explain in the chart training course, and they're very simple to use. Essentially, there's 3. There's the trigger alert, which is the short-term indicator, more for the daily, the weekly trades. The momentum band, which tells you in a bull market, bear market, and also gives you trades, also sort of green triangles, red triangles, tell you what side of the trade it's on. Again, it's not financial advice, but it's one of those big tools in your toolbox. And the deep trend, which is a longer term view of the stock. You get all 3 of them. You can apply to any charts as part of the subscription. So if you are a sensei.news premium member, open a ticket and I'll give you access to these trading view indicators. Again, they're not random indicators backed up by no knowledge, AI trades and all this rubbish that's out there and people sell. It's easy to use, it's simple to understand, and it's backed up by academic research. And again, I don't recommend putting all of them on your chart at once. Just hide them and go through them one by one. Again, I explain that all in the chart training course. People charge thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars for a chart training course, and it's full of rubbish. Our chart training course is built off me trading for 8 years, understanding charts, paying for different people's chart courses, understanding the market, and it all boils down to keep it simple and understand what you're doing. So I've put it into a 3-hour course, everything you need to know, lots of academic research in it, based off academic research, not just based off random stuff. It tells you everything you need to know. You get the £5,000 portfolio challenge, which is, again, something that we're building on. It's not something that we're going to turn 5,000, 10,000 overnight. We're building on it. We're building a portfolio, and I'm building some pies. More updates to come to that soon. But I'm starting with 5,000, and we'll see where we are in years to come. Portfolio tracker with it's a net worth tracker, a whole net worth tracker out that people charge $20, $30, $40 a month for. You get for free, no data tracked. I don't want to know about any of your data. I don't track it. You can save it to your own on device. It's a net worth tracker. It's great to understand. There's a whole video about that. If you go to sensei.news as well, if you haven't used the net worth tracker yet, you can just go to sensei.news, and at the top of the website, remember, you can see all of these. So you've got the XRP Weekly there, which is an XRP Weekly newsletter, the morning forecast, the portfolio challenge, everything we've done in the portfolio challenge, the week ahead, which is our calendar we give you, and you can see what's happening this week. The cheat sheets there, and Worth Lens, which is your net worth tracker. So you can see exactly how to use the net worth tracker over there. What else do you get? You get a section in the Discord where it's sort of Discord access for the newsletter members, and you can DM me and open tickets anytime. So you get all those perks as part of the newsletter. You can get it for 25% off. The link is in the live chat. And if you are a member, do make sure you take advantage of all the perks. And remember, when you sign up, that's the price you're going to pay. Going forward, if you've used the discount, obviously your next year's subscription is going to be at full price, but you're never going to be higher price. So that price that you're paying is going to be locked in over time. The price is going to go up for new members, not for people that already joined. So there you go. That explains it, hopefully. The link is in the live chat. Is there any other questions? Let me go to your comments. SBC update would be nice. We were hoping for news today. News today on SBCE. No news on my radar, unfortunately. I can, if a newsletter member wants to request something, you can let me know in Discord, and I can maybe do a deep dive from Monday morning or something like that. But there's no real news. I can just give you an update on the financials and where we're at. If a newsletter member wants to request that, go into Discord, go into the newsletter chat, and let me know. XRP starting to go down. Yeah, it's still below that downwards trend line, but there could be a breakout. If I am a newsletter subscriber, how do I get access to the chart trading course? If you're a newsletter member, there's two ways. Either on sensei.news, there is literally, if you go to sensei.news, you'll be signed into Substack. Go into the tab that says the course, why 95% lose and how to be in the 5%. And then the link is right there. It'll take you to the playlist. It'll take you to remember, it comes with all the chart patterns as a PDF. It comes with the checklist before you enter a trade, and the videos, and watch it. So the link is, I can just give you the link here. You have to be signed in. So I'll give you the link in the live chat. That's where you find the chart course if you are a premium newsletter member. If you're not, you won't be able to see that newsletter. Or if you go into Discord and scroll down to one of the channels in the sensei.news is called Training Course, and you've got the link there as well. Sensei, what price would you be buying SK Hynix? I haven't thought about it too much. I'd rather wait for these things, get some more price data. But I mean, if it was $120, I'd be picking up. $130, I'll pick some up. In a diversified portfolio, $150 even, maybe just a few shares. So Sensei, your Discord is the same as Martyn's Discord. Not clear on this. Yeah. So me and Martyn, so it's integrated together. So Martyn's obviously is the owner of the server. but we wanted to put the two communities together. So in Martyn's server, if you're a premium newsletter member, you can unlock certain channels that just not Discord members don't have access to. Most people are Discord members and newsletter members, so you get access to the whole server. If you're Discord members, you get access to Martyn's side of the server. If you're just a newsletter member, you get access to Jump My side of the server. If you're a member of both, you get access to the whole server. But yeah, it's a part on Martyn's server. Sensei, what price would you buy SK Hynix? I answered that. Any other questions? Do you think Bitcoin will go down this weekend? It looks like the momentum's shifting towards the upside on crypto, in all honesty. So maybe more upside. Baba close to a green trigger alert. Oh, I love it, Noki Star, using the indicator. So let's have a look at Baba. Obviously, every moving average, what these are based off, are lagging indicators, as I explained in the training course. So obviously, the price would have been going up for this to occur. So bear that in mind. We might have a small pullback back towards the moving averages before we move higher. But yeah, once these cross, they'll do. So yeah, I mean, if we stay at these prices or head up to 117, we could have a green trigger alert on Alibaba, which would be interesting. Yeah, last one we had was a downwards, a red triangle, which the trade went down 30%. So let's see. Again, it's just one tool. You have to put it together with everything. You can't just look at a green triangle, go buy, look at a red triangle, go sell. You have to put it together. What's the momentum band saying? I'm assuming, yeah, there's just a bit of resistance up there, but that will be turning bullish potentially. Yeah, Alibaba. I mean, $100 would have been the mark for Alibaba, in my opinion, just because of the level of support and the psychological level of $100. But we'll see. You have to zoom out as well and say, okay, that trigger alert might go green, but it might go red pretty quick as well, because we are still in a downwards trend for Alibaba. So maybe support resistance at $145 and $150 for Alibaba. But thank you. I'm thinking of doing a new channel on Discord, on the Discord server that we're on. Just a new channel called The Indicator, where everyone can share their charts and their indicators, and we can all discuss different charts. Would you guys be interested in that? That'll be a place where people can share charts, share the indicators, say, I'm looking at this. This is about to have a green alert. This is above the moving averages, sharing charts, and then each of us can comment on it and learn from each other. What do you guys think of that? Knocking Star, I love it. Bubble close to a green trigger alert. I love it. I love hearing that you're using the indicators as a tool. Remember, it's not financial advice. XRP starting to go down. Sensor, you have answered those questions. Any other questions? So Sensor, your Discord, yeah, bestie, thanks. Okay. Let me tell you about Vaz, because tomorrow is Vaz's day. Tomorrow Vaz will be live as a very special show. If I give everyone the link to it, you can go there and hit the like button for Vaz. Let me get that link and post it in the chat. So this is what's happening tomorrow in about 23 hours time. So look at the clock this time tomorrow, take 1 hour off. That's when Vaz will be live from London. He's going to be live to see Flying Taxi live in London. This is going to be a crazy stream. Everyone should be watching it. If you can go over and hit the like button. More importantly, if everyone can click that link and just press notify me, you at least get notified when he's live. Go watch it and see if you want to stay. But press that button that says notify me. That way you'll get notified when Vaz goes live tomorrow. A major event, a lot of effort going into this. So press that button. Once you press notify me, it says notification on. That's the link for it. I'll give it to you in the live chat. So that's happening tomorrow. Very, very. I don't know how much I can say about it. I know what's happening, and I'm definitely going to be watching, because that it's a big achievement what's happening tomorrow. Very interesting stream live from London. Tim Rogers says, yes, great idea. Okay, yeah, I'll do it. Yes, please. I'll be up for it. Yeah, love the idea about the technical channel, a technical analysis channel. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, what do you think of the massive volume spike on Virgin Galactic 3-month chart? Anything there to take note of? I don't use volume as much as some other people do in trading. Obviously, it's something to look at, another tool in the toolbox. It's just not a major part of my strategy. What you said on the 3-month chart? I don't even know if I've got volume activated. Here we go. the volume would have been from last month's SpaceX dealing. A lot of new people wanted to discover Virgin Galactic after thinking of the space sector. And yes, there was a lot of volume, a lot of shares changing hands, a lot of people coming in and leaving. So yeah, a big volume spike. Would I take much away from it? No, it's just a lot of price action happened last month. We went all the way up to, remember we'd said the target was not, what was it, $8, $9? I think it was $8, $7, $8 was the levels I was selling SBC. We did a deep dive on it in the newsletter. And ever since we've come back down to the levels we expect. So yeah, I wouldn't take too much away from the volume. Obviously, the volume was going to be up when the price action is that crazy. And when you have the biggest IPO of all time with SpaceX, some of that money can flow into a tiny stock like this and show up as large volume. But in the reality, it's not anything too massive in the grand scheme of something like SpaceX. So no, I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't. Maybe I'm missing something, but I wouldn't take away too much from that. I'll let know Vaz you sent me. Yeah. You click on the link. Make sure you press notify me, and you can already go into the chat and just annoy Vaz and say Sensei sent me. There's already a poll there you can vote on as well. Can you? Okay. What do you think about? I love that. Can you check ANT? Green Candle Chaser. Green Candle Chaser, we will do Sundays with Sensei. That's coming up in 2 days' time for all newsletter premium members. Then we can do chart requests. I'm about to end the show now. This show will automatically take you to Vaz's show tomorrow. Go over there and press the notify me button. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Let me end the poll. If you did want to sign up to newsletter, I am onboarding everyone now, bringing them onto Discord and giving you all your perks. Sign up there and then open a ticket or send me a message and I will onboard you. The first email you get was there. Oh yeah, anyone who receives emails from me, there is new things on email such as mail or Gmail. You've probably seen it. This is AI categorization. So it categorizes different emails as spam, promotional. I mean, let me just tell you exactly what the different categories are. For example, Apple Mail, primary, transactions, updates, promotions, all mail. You want to find the email, whether it's in your spam or one of those categories. Hold down the email and move it to your primary inbox. If you're paying for the newsletter, if you want the newsletter, you want it to be in your primary mailbox. So just go and make sure everyone has done that. That's just an update that's going out to all these different mailing apps. If you want to sign up, the link is there. You get 25% off. If you're a newsletter member, you can always access all the perks and have a direct access to me. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully Martyn feels better and he will be live with you as well. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.